Sergeant, I'm going to take you through a series of exchanges between yourself, the CFO, and General Dlamini in March in relation to invoicing. But before I do so, because it will be relevant to some of my questions, I need to take you to page 86. And you'll see at the foot of page 86, this is now the 16th of December 2024, at what would have been 10:26 a.m., you were responding to a query from Mr. Mnisi about your wife. You said, "She's great, thanks. I got a call at 6:30 to come see number one." Over the page, he says, "Who, my bro? Number one, JS." And you say, "JS, we'll handle with him, let you know." And he says, "Should we be worried?" And you say, "Not at all, he sounded in a good mood. Around afternoon time, we'll give you a feedback." Now, who was JS, who was the number one to whom Mr. Mnisi was referring?
I think it was General Sibia, but this J, it was, I don't know, but it was General Sibia. I call him number one.
Why would you respond JS if it was General Sibia? General Sibia doesn't have a first name beginning with J, does he? Because you see it at the time stamped 8/28/45, you respond JS. Now, if it was General Sibia, you wouldn't have said JS, would you?
I take it because it's number one, and I usually have interactions with him about General Sibia.
You see, Sergeant, I think you know and I know that JS is Joe Sibanyoni, and that's who the number one to whom the CFO was referring.
If it was Joe Sibanyoni, he was going to write Joe Sibanyoni, but because of myself and others refer General Sibia as number one, so that is I'm taking from that.
Why was he saying, why did he use JS and why did you use JS?
I really don't know.
Well, you must know why you used JS.
Please respond, Sergeant Nkosi. You must know why you use JS.
I've responded that to me, who was JS?
No, why you call him JS? Why do you call General Sibia JS?
I take it, Commissioner, it's because of I saved him as...
I'm sorry, number one.
Number one.
Or is it JS? What was your last
So,
name? JS.
So JS is
Yes.
is what you used in response to the query, JS question mark. You said
So-
JS.
Why do you call him JS?
I'll stick to that number one thing, Commissioner.
But number one doesn't mean JS.
No. Number one, in reference to why I say this General Sibia is because of, we call him number one.
But why is he JS then?
That is my answer that I gave to the commission. I'm sorry about that.
I don't remember you giving an answer as to why he is JS. Let's forget about number one for a second. Why is he JS?
Okay, maybe as it goes, or as the question goes, I'll remember clearly, but for now, let's stick to that number one.
No, the question is here, and it is on JS now. Why do you refer to him as JS?
My answer is still that one, Commissioner.
Sorry?
My answer is still that one, that
The only answer I remember is about number one. I don't remember an answer about JS. Why do you call him JS?
I don't know.
Yes, Mr. Chaskalson.
Well, then, can I take you to page 277?
$277.
277. Let's start on 276.
Okay?
These are chats. It's your chat with Mr. Mnisi. It's the 30th of April 2025. And on 276, you'll see a message where you send a pin to Mr. Mnisi. That message has the timestamp 3:28:33. It would have been 5:28 in the afternoon on the 30th. Looking at that pin and the lake to the right of the pin, can you identify what the location of the pin is?
What page is that, Commissioner?
It's 276.
I see it.
Whose address is being indicated on that pin?
I can't remember.
Could it be Mr. Sibanyoni's address?
I can't remember.
Maybe if you go over the page, it will assist you, because you see that straight after sending that pin, you send a screenshot of your chats with Mr. Sibanyoni to Mr. Mnisi. And it says, well, you have an exchange with Mr. Sibanyoni from the day before, where you say, "I'm ready." Khotsong Sion, "I'm ready." There's a voice call. He sends back an access code to Centurion Residential Estate, and you say, "Copied, see you at 4." And that message that screenshot is sent to Mr. Mnisi. If you go up to the top of page 277, it's sent on the 30th of April. Timestamp says 3:29, but it is 2 hours out, so it's 5:29 p.m. So at the bottom it says, "Copied, see you at 4," and at 5:29 p.m. your message to Mr. Mnisi was still here. So why would it be important for you to tell Mr. Mnisi that you were still at the location of Mr. Sibanyoni?
can't remember as in why did I tell him, but the possibility is that maybe myself and Mr. Nkosi were supposed to be or to go somewhere. Then something came up. Then I informed him that this thing has came up. I have to go somewhere.
Yes, but you didn't just say I have to go somewhere. You actually sent him a screenshot that identified the person where you were as Mr. Sibanyoni and identified that you'd been communicating to set up the meeting with Mr. Sibanyoni the previous day. Let's go up a page, that might help you. In fact, let's go up lots of pages. Let's go to page 230, which is still the previous day.
230. Oh, sorry. 230.
230.
230. A minute.
And there at the foot of the page at 230, you'll see half a picture of a red bakkie, a sort of fairly impressive looking red bakkie, or red SUV. 29th of April at, it says, 6:22 p.m. And then we see many, many pictures of this car that you are sending to Mr. Nkosi. Go down many pages. And if you go all the way down to page 252, you'll see that in addition to the red SUV, you also sent him a picture of a Dodge Ram. Several pictures of the Dodge Ram with its price. And then you gave specs of the vehicle. At the top of page 257, you say this vehicle is a 2022 model with around 60,000 K. It's a Longhorn edition, 5.7 liters, available at 2.35 million. He says, which one is this? And then you go back to the red vehicle. Down you go. And more and more pics of the red vehicle, and eventually we reach page 275. Where you confirm that this is the 2022 vehicle after several more pictures of the vehicle, and he says, this is the one, and he points his finger at it. Now, you've sent 45 pages of pictures of vehicles. You must remember what that was about. Why were you exchanging pictures of vehicles with Mr. Nkosi?
I sent him because of he's more knowledgeable about cars, and my brother and I were looking for a bakkie.
And were you wanting to spend in the region of 2 million rands on the bakkie?
No, I don't have that money.
Well, then why were you sending him a picture of a bakkie that retailed at 3 million?
It was something that was very beautiful, so I had to.
Sorry, it was something?
That bakkie was beautiful, so I had to show him what is his view, what kind of bakkies are here.
Yes, I know, but you sent him, 45 pages of pictures of that bakkie and the price. Why did you do that?
For him to have a view about that bakkie.
To what end?
To what end?
Yes, what view were you looking for, or why were you interested in his view?
It's like when you do the window shopping and you see maybe a Ferrari, then you start to send it to people. Hey, look at this bakkie, how beautiful it is. What do you think about it?
Now, Sergeant, I've seen lots of your chats, and I've seen you send lots of pictures of motorbikes when you're thinking of buying them for someone or advising someone on whether they need to buy them. But even those motorbike pictures never run more than 5 or 6 pages at a time. This is 45 pages, principally of one vehicle. Why were you so interested in this vehicle?
My answer is still that one that I gave before.
And so after sending 45 pages of this vehicle, what did, at the end of it all, Mr. Mnisi says, this is the one. Was he thinking that this 2022 vehicle was the one that you should get?
No. According to my understanding is, this is the one that is beautiful than the other white one.
Yes, so you were exchanging many pictures of expensive vehicles just to get Mr. Mnisi's view on which one was the more beautiful.
Can you repeat that?
There are 45 pages of photographs, principally of this red vehicle, with maybe, let's say, more than 40 pages of the red vehicle, 2 or 3 of the white vehicle. Were you sending those pictures to Mr. Mnisi just to get his view on the aesthetic qualities of both vehicles? Which was the more beautiful?
That's correct.
Sergeant, I have to put it to you that that is not truthful evidence. You stand by that answer?
Okay. I stand by my answer.
And did those vehicles have nothing to do with the screenshot from Mr. Sibanyoni and the location pin at Mr. Sibanyoni's address that immediately follows them in your chats? Are they wholly unrelated?
I don't know if I get you.
You want it interpreted, Ms. Maureen?
We swapped with Ms. Marie. Umbuzo uthi, uma uthumelele ithombe ezingaka ezale bhaki kanti zimbili zintathu nje zebhaki emhlophe, manje ke ubukade ufuna uvo lwakhe nje mayelana naloko bekade kuyisidingo lokho na?
Unjalo.
Correct.
Can you please repeat the question?
The question was, were those 45 pages of photographs of vehicles wholly unrelated to the screenshot of Mr. Sibanyoni's chat with you that follows them immediately in the chats, and to the pin of Mr. Sibanyoni's address that follows those photos immediately in the chats? Was there no relationship between the photographs and the chats that came straight after them in the WhatsApps?
And the pin. And the pin.
Yes, the pin and the screenshot.
Tolango, angaba u-45 ngesibalo, nawabaliwe. Lawa athe emva kwamafutho lawo, kwabe sekulandela-ke inkulumisano noma i-chat noma yona ipin ebonakalisa-ke lapho-ke kwaka-Sibanyoni. Kumane nje kwalandelana nje, kodwa aqhumananga. Inkulumo nje, amafoto nje avelile, nenkulumo leyo azidibananga zombili. I don't know if I understand it. Kucala ifoto, emva kwaloko kulandela inkulumo naloyo mzi loyo-ke wakaSibanyoni. Lezi zinto ezimbili siwelo nje ukuthi ziyeza landelana kanjalo, akusukuthi zona ngenhloso zidibene.
Okay.
Uyathola.
Injalo.
Correct.
And if we go to your, they are unrelated.
They are unrelated.
And if we go to your chat with Mr. Sibanyoni, the screenshot of the chat.
Doesn't work. Now it works. Thank you.
The screenshot at page,
Let me just tender an apology. I did not notice that the interpreters have swapped. This is. Can you please pronounce it for me, Ms. Pitswane, or how do you pronounce? Sorry. Pitswane. Pitswane. Apologies. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sergeant, maybe before Mr. Chaskalson comes in, this motor vehicle, the red bakkie, you obviously were very close to it when you took the pictures. It was in your presence when you took these pictures.
That's correct.
Who does it belong to?
To the dealership.
So this was at a dealership. It looks like a residential area. Was this at a dealership?
Yes.
And you had just gone there to look for vehicles, to look for a beautiful vehicle to share with the CFO.
That's correct.
And you even asked the price just to share with the CFO to show him this is a beautiful vehicle.
That's correct.
Okay. You just happened to do this. You didn't think he was interested in it, or someone that you know or you are interested in a bakkie?
No, my brother was looking to purchase a bakkie.
Is
So
that
we're just shopping around.
Okay.
So it happens that our eyes grabbed that.
Okay, so this was not just a random sharing. It's a vehicle that your brother and your brother were looking at, and you wanted the CFO's opinion. Is that what you're saying?
That's
To expla-
correct at that time, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chaskalson.
and if we go back to the screenshot of Mr. Sibanyoni's message to you, of chats with you which you sent to Mr. Mnisi on the 30th of April, you see that on the timeline, you...
Just a moment. Are you there, Sergeant?
I wanna first hear which page is that.
277.
Okay, I see. I'm here.
You see that on the screenshot where it says yesterday, now we know that the screenshot is date stamped the 30th of April. So yesterday would have been the 29th of April. You say to Mr. Sibanyoni at 1831, Khotsong Sion, I am ready. You see that?
That's correct.
What were you ready for?
I don't remember.
But the next day, he sent you an access code, entry code, to a residential estate for a 4 o'clock meeting. You see that?
That's correct.
Was that a 4 o'clock meeting held at his personal residence?
That's correct.
And is that personal residence in the location at the pin that we see on page 276? Maybe shouldn't fly it.
That pin, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it. That pin, but I'm sure about this.
And what was your meeting with Mr. Sibanyoni about on the 30th of April, 2025?
I can't remember.
Do you have many meetings with Mr. Sibanyoni at his home?
No.
About how many have you had at his home?
1 or 2, I'm not sure.
Well, if this was one of possibly only 2, maybe the only one, surely you remember why you went to visit Mr. Sibanyoni for a meeting at his home.
I can't remember.
And why would you have sent details of your conversation with Mr. Sibanyoni together with the PIN to Mr. Mnisi?
I can't remember as in why, but I assume because of I usually, when I've got another commitment and I was supposed to go to another one or something to do, the person that I'm supposed to meet, I would send them the current situation that this is where I'm caught up, I'm supposed to be here or I'm here. I think it was on those bases.
If we go up to page 256, and we look at the Dodge Ram
256.
the white vehicle that retails for $1,099,000.
Page 36.
256,
Okay.
and it starts at page 252. It runs through to 256. Do you recognize that vehicle?
That's correct.
Whose vehicle is it?
My brother's vehicle.
It's your brother's vehicle.
That's correct.
I see. So your brother bought this vehicle for R1,099,000 at the time.
No, it was advertised as 1,099,000, but he got it, if I'm not mistaken, plus minus 7 or 6, I can't remember.
So you managed to bargain the price, or your brother managed to bargain the price down from 1,099,000 all the way down to 700,000 or 600,000.
Can you repeat?
So your brother managed to bargain down the price from 1,099,000 all the way down to 600 or 700,000.
I think so.
And you don't know who bought the red vehicle that was retailing for 2.2 million.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Yes,
You stand by that.
I stand by that.
Let's go back to the invoices for now. We'll come back to the vehicles at a later stage.
Okay.
So maybe before you do the invoices, let's go back to that page 87. I had a question that I wanted to ask and I forgot. Page 87?
Of the same file, eh?
Yeah. Now, you've said this is where that JS appears, and you say number one, JS, it's General Sibia. Now, if you look at the third chat from the bottom, where Mr. Mnisi says, Aish, in fact, let's go up first. You say at the top, maybe let's do it this way. Who, my bra, and then he says number one, he says JS, and then you respond JS, and you say to us JS is General Sibia, and then you say we'll handle him with let you know, and then he says, Aish, should we be worried? And then you answer not at all. He sounded in good mood. Around afternoon time, we'll give you feedback. Now, where the CFO or Mr. Mnisi asks, firstly, what do you say you will handle? Where you say we'll handle him with let you know, I think a word is missing there. What were you going to handle with this person that you say is General Sibia?
Commissioner, I really can't remember.
You can't.
I can't.
And when he says, Aish, should we be worried? This is in December 2024. When he says, Aish, should we be worried? What is he concerned about that relates to General Sibia?
I think it relates whereby I said, I'm summoned. So then he said, should we be worried? I think he took it from that phrase.
And you say not at all, he sounded in a good mood. What did you think that Mr. Mnisi was thinking when he says, should we be worried? What is he thinking about when you say not at all?
I would not remember clearly, my commissioner. I don't want to give you a cocky answer or speculation. I want to give you a straight answer. So
Yeah.
this one.
Did you and Mr. Mnisi have any dealings at all of any nature with General Sibia?
No.
That would cause him to first initiate, when you say number one, for him to say you mean JS, and then for you to say I will handle it with him, and then him to ask should we be worried, and then you say not at all. What was the relationship, if at all, in your dealings between you, General Sibia, and Mr. Mnisi?
There were no dealings, commissioners.
There were no dealings.
Yes.
So when he asks, should we be worried, he's just talking he's talking out of the air. There's no basis for him to say this because there are no dealings whatsoever.
I think maybe it came, to him it came a bit skew when I said I'm someone, so maybe to automatically thought there was a problem.
Yeah, you see, that's not all that happened. You said, I will handle it. I will
Yes.
handle him. So you're conveying something very specific, whether JS is Sibanyoni or Sibia, and I'm happy for our discussion to
Yes.
leave it at General Sibia. When you say we'll handle him, you know he knows something that would cause you to be summoned in the way that you've been summoned, or at least about this person, JS, and your dealings with JS. That's why you say, I will handle him. You can only say that because there is something to deal with between you, Mr. Mnisi, and JS. That's why you say, I will handle him.
As it goes along, I wish I would remember, and then I will maybe pause and come back to my honorable commissioner with that question.
All right, but for now, that's your answer is you don't remember.
For now, my answer is I'll come back to the commissioner about that answer.
Okay, well, let me say to you in fairness that my take from this, your response, is you don't want to tell us what this is about. There's very specific communication here. You just don't want to tell us what it is you said you will handle with him. And when he asks you, should we be worried, you don't want to tell us what it is about.
I think, my commissioner, there is no reason why I would not tell you what it was.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Can I ask you to go to page 141? And there at the foot of page 141, with the timestamp 7:38, which would be 9:38 in the morning, you'll see that Mr. Mnisi sends you a message, "Is General winning?" And you say, "Morning, my brother, I'm on to him." And maybe for this portion of the questioning, you should have files 1 and 2 open simultaneously, because we're going to look at your chats with General Dlamini at the same time as we look at your chats with Mr. Mnisi.
Okay.
So if you can then go to 584.
84.
584. And you'll recall that at 9:46 you had said to Mr. Mnisi, in response to "Is General winning?" you'd said, "I'm on to him." And then at 9:46 we see that you WhatsApp a screenshot of your conversation with Mr. Mnisi to General Dlamini. You see that screenshot.
That's correct.
What was Mr. Mnisi worried about in relation to whether the general was winning or not? What did the general have to be winning on?
I think maybe for now, I can't remember, but as it goes, maybe during your questioning, I'll remember.
Sure, fair enough. Let's go back to page 142
File 1.
of file 1. So we're going to be jumping backwards and forwards all the time, so please keep them both
that's
open.
fine,
So
yes.
142, at 9:48:45, it says 7:48, but remember in your chats with Mr. Mnisi, you have to add 2 hours. 9:48:45, you say, "He confirmed it will be sorted now. He'll give feedback soon before 12 o'clock. And then at 9:55, Mr. Mnisi says, "Okay, it's not yet in my system." Does that help you remember what this was about? Mr. Mnisi was expecting General Dlamini to do something that would be reflected in his system. Should we go further?
Go further.
So if you go to 585, don't bother, but if you were to go there, you would see that this chat again is then screenshot and sent to General Dlamini. I mean, we can go there if you want to. You can
Yes,
take
I
my
see
word
it.
for it. Let's stay on page 142. At 10:07, it says 8:07, that's 10:07, you send the CFO a picture of sort of an image of fingers crossed, and underneath it says, "He said he won't disappoint." CFO responds, "Thanks, Mpoetu." Then, if we go to 508, 508,
508.
508. You have it. Chat number 4, 12:20. General Dlamini writes to you. Morning, Captain. Please just confirm from Mbowetu Ukuthi I'm processing the issue and I have spoken to Kane and Vusi also to increase the target value as the amount is a bit higher. And as soon as all of them are released, I will let you know for his intervention to ensure that Tommy makes payment urgently. Okay, let's take this one step at a time. Kane would be Kane Mpofu.
I don't know him.
You don't know him. Do you know who Vusi is?
I don't know him.
Do you know who Tommy is?
I don't know him.
We'll have to ask those questions to the General. You say, please confirm from Mbowetu Ukuthi I am processing the issue. What was he processing?
I think carry on with your question so that when I answer, I'll be in a position to answer in one package.
Okay. So the first question is, what was he processing? He then says, I've spoken to Kane and Vusi to increase the target value as the amount's a bit higher. What was the target value? That's the second question. And as soon as you know all of them are released, what's got to be released? I will let you know for his intervention to ensure that Tommy makes payment urgently. Now, is he saying at the end that when the first steps have been done, he will get the CFO to intervene to ensure that Tommy pays urgently? Let's start at the end. Is that what he's saying at the end? When everything else has been done, he will let you know, in other words, you, Mr. Sergeant Nkosi, for the CFO's intervention to ensure that Tommy makes payment urgently.
Okay, yes.
So when everything's been done, he's going to come back to you, and you will secure the intervention of the CFO to ensure that Tommy pays urgently. Is that what he's saying he wants to happen?
Okay.
Now let's get back to the earlier questions. What was the issue that he was processing?
Thank you. One, at some stage I was with the CFO in the car. The CFO received a call from the person whom I did not know. And he said he was complaining about the payments that were not made to his company or her company, and her company worked. So as a result, I think it was a lot of money that was owed to them. As a result, they complained to CFO, threatening to take the city to court if they don't get their payment. When the CFO hangs up the phone, I then asked him what was that all about, because of it sounded there was a very not nice words between the two. He said, there is this company that has been owed by the city, and it is long overdue. That is according to the CFO now. So they are frustrated. They are threatening to take the city to court. They have also engaged or convey the same message to the city manager of Tshwane. I then said, how long? Then he told, I can't remember that he told me that, no man, I know someone who can make a speed payment, even though he's a CFO, he's working there, but from the outside, I'm telling him that I've got a brother there. he can intervene and help you. Then, okay. Mr. Chaskalson, I think maybe you wanted to interject.
No, continue. I don't want to interrupt you.
Then I've engaged with General Dlamini, Umashi. Then I said, the CFO is got this crisis of payment, and the company that they are owing, they're threatening to take the city to court. Then General Dlamini said, let him send you that invoice or the particulars of the company. Then I took same and forwarded to General Dlamini. General Dlamini made follow-up with that effect. He found that my interpreter is distracting me.
Please continue, Sergeant Nkosi.
She's taking me off tune now. I had to start afresh. Thank you. Okay. Now,
You said the invoice was sent to you, you then gave it to General Dlamini?
yes. I think let them sit down. They are distracting me. But on the same note, I'm pressed, can I just...
Let's adjourn.
just...
Resist making this observation. When you were testifying remotely, not once did you ever announce that you were pressed. But from Monday up to today, probably tomorrow as well, you have been saying it, and you will probably be saying it fairly frequently. What is happening? Please, I'm not suggesting that when you are pressed, you should not tell us that you are pressed, but I just want to understand.
I think it's a matter of, we told guys we need more water. So it's that issue that when we get dehydrated, we feel dizzy, So I think it's that why
Because
I
you are
drink more
drinking
water,
too
yes.
much water. Okay.
But not that maybe I'm deliberately wasting the commission's time, and of which I understand that we are under pressure, we must finalize, we must finish, especially today. So the more I go to the toilet, I delay time, especially on my side.
Okay, that makes me feel good about being short. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chaskalson.
Sergeant, it wasn't clear to me that you'd finished your explanation yet. But if you had, I'm happy to ask the next question.
Do you remember where we were? You were explaining about the invoice, that there was this phone call, you heard about it, and you said you were going to intervene because you know somebody. You then asked them to send the invoice to you. You were going to give it to the general, and then there was that phone call, yes.
No, thank you, Commissioner. Hey, you remind me well. Okay, thank you. As I was proceeding, now I took same to General Dlamini. General Dlamini checked the invoice, and he also found that indeed that company worked, and it was never paid. Then he came back to me, he said, indeed, this complaint is valid because of this company never worked. And at some stage I had issues with it or what so forth, but I know about that company. Tell Mfowethu that I will see what I can do. So now, all what I've said, it answers, according to me, what my honorable commissioner was asking about here.
So this was a complaint about one invoice.
That's correct.
One invoice that had been unpaid for a while. And did you know the company from which the invoice came?
Yes, if I remember clearly, I think it was about Kubis.
Gubis. And had you had any prior dealings with Gubis? Were you familiar with the people who own Gubis?
No.
Had you heard about Gubis before?
Not that I can remember.
Did you have any dealings with Gubis afterwards?
No.
And did you receive any information about Gubis afterwards?
I think that payment was made to them. They were paid.
They were paid, that's all that you knew of, and the sum total of your knowledge of Gubis is that they had this problem with payment that came to a head on the 5th of March 2025, and you assisted to have General Dlamini and Mr. Mnisi sort that out. Is that the sum total of your dealings with Gubis?
Maybe it's a point of correction. I did not have the CFO and the General Dlamini. I was helping the CFO.
You were helping the CFO
by giving the document to General Dlamini.
By giving the document to General Dlamini.
Yes.
Why couldn't the CFO give it to General Dlamini himself? Do they not speak to each other?
Okay. I think it was not an issue for the CFO. I'm just assuming to give it to General Dlamini. But at that time when the information was received, it happened that I was driving on one vehicle with the CFO.
Sorry, at the time, you were handling it because you were driving with the CFO.
When I heard that thing over the phone.
You heard it over the phone. Who was driving the car, you or the CFO?
It was me.
So you were driving the vehicle. You heard the CFO taking a call in the car from a disgruntled supplier.
That's correct.
And whose car was being driven, yours or the CFO's?
The CFO's.
So you were driving the CFO in his car?
That's correct.
Do you often drive the CFO in his car?
Can you come back again?
Do you often drive the CFO in his car? I mean, if it's his car, why are you driving, not him?
Not often, sometimes when we are together.
Is he happy for you to drive his car?
Yes.
What kind of car does he have?
X6.
And so I presume that because it was his car, the Bluetooth went onto the car and so you could hear the speaker.
No.
No.
Yes.
So it was off Bluetooth and he was just having a conversation in the passenger seat in the car on his phone.
Yes.
But you could still hear it.
That's correct.
And around when was this conversation? I mean, what time of day was it? I mean, do you recall?
I can't remember clearly when, what time. Or
And how long were you driving the CFO? How long did this continue?
I think we were going to at his place of residence in Mpumalanga.
You were going to Mpumalanga, so this was a long drive.
Yes.
And inside the car, did you hand over the wheel to the CFO at any given point? You're driving, you overhear this conversation, you now want to help. Did you say, let me make a few calls for you, can you start driving and I'll be the passenger now?
No.
No. So while you were driving, you made some calls to General Dlamini to try and sort all of this out.
That's correct.
How did you do that?
I phoned him.
You phoned him, so you were sort of, you may want to plead your privilege against self-incrimination in relation to using a cell phone while you're driving, but that wasn't what I had in mind.
I think that day I violated. Sorry, yes.
So you phoned him while you were driving,
Yes.
and then you sent through an invoice to him from the supplier. Is that what happened? Well, that's certainly what happened on the chats.
I can't remember that I've sent it on the very same day or when, but I remember I've sent it to him. But I can't remember.
So this may have been, so what we see on the 30th of April may have been not the day that the call came. Sorry, not the 30th of April, the 5th of March. What we see on the 5th of March may be a different day from when you were in the car and overheard the call.
I can't deny or not agree, but I remember something like that.
Well, if it didn't happen on the 5th of March, why was this not, when you were driving, why was this not something that the CFO could sort out without your intervention? Why couldn't the CFO speak to Mr. Dlamini? Why did he need you to intervene?
The CFO did not need me to intervene. I volunteered. I don't want to push a narrative that it seems the CFO wanted me to intervene. I volunteered it because I overheard.
So you overheard the CFO speaking to a disgruntled supplier of the city.
Yes.
Who you didn't know. You didn't know Gubis.
No.
But there's a call from Gubis. They're angry because they haven't been paid. You overhear it. And you decide that you're going to help out here and sort out the problems of Gubis, the CFO, and the security department by just ensuring that payment takes place. Is that what happened?
Can you repeat that?
You overhear a complaint from a supplier you don't know about. You then decide that, and you realize that this supplier is complaining that they haven't been paid and it's been a long time. You take it upon yourself to assist the CFO to sort out this problem by speaking to General Dlamini, the head of security, to ensure that, I presume, invoices or purchase orders can be issued so that the supplier can be paid. Sorry, the invoices have been issued. Purchase orders can be issued so that the supplier can be paid. Is that what was going on?
Yes.
But what business of yours was it to start sorting out disputes between the city and its suppliers? Do you have any relationship to the city?
No, I don't have a relationship with the city.
Other than being a resident of Greater Tshwane?
That's correct.
Continue.
Okay. I was only helping the CFO with the frustration that the service provider was threatening to take the city to court. So as a result, the CFO was getting frustrated. Now, as my friend, I'm getting worried. My friend, now the road is going to be long. He's not himself now. That is how I intervened.
But the problem, as I understand it, lay with the TMP, the security department. They hadn't done what needed to be done to ensure that the CFO could pay. Is that what the problem was? They had to do something before the CFO could pay. They had to sign off on the invoices. Is that what the problem was? Or do something to process the invoices?
I think to save time, Chair, can I use the services of the interpreter so that I must hear clearly the question, then I will come back to
Sure.
the English, yeah.
The problem lay with the, I've called them the security department, let's call them the TMPD. The problem lay with the TMPD. Do you need interpreting or can I continue?
I need interpreting.
The problem lay with this TMPD. Okay. They needed to sign off on invoices or process them in some way before the CFO could pay.
Ukuthi memele ngabe ke bathola ke udingo lokuthi mayisayinwe ke yi-CFO
Before the CFO could pay or could authorize, could process, could authorize payment.
phambi kokuba u-CFO a-authorize ukuthi ibhadalwe. I can't get it
No,
myself.
I don't think it's what the evidence leader is saying.
Sergeant, let's try this. Why did you need to involve General Dlamini in this process? So we know that you are with the CFO. As the call comes in, the disgruntled service provider is complaining about non-payment. What was the reason for you involving General Dlamini in that process?
Okay. I was just helping the CFO because of I know that General Dlamini is head of, he works in finance as well. Or finance falls under him. He might resolve the issue, save the reputation of Tshwane and this disgruntled between the CFO and the service provider.
What would General Dlamini need to do in order for the payment to take place?
I think he will need to verify all the documents submitted before him. And then that is when now he's going to instruct or is going to follow necessary or do necessary arrangement for the payment to be done.
So General Dlamini needed to sign documents and submit them to the CFO in order for the CFO to pay the service provider.
At that time of submission of that particular document, it was the matter of the general to verify that indeed the document is valid and to check if whether those people were owed, did they worked the hours or whatsoever that they claim to have worked, and then he will take it from there.
Chaskalson, I don't know if you are covered or...
I think I am. Now, why couldn't the CFO do this himself? Why did he need you to intervene to speak to a fellow executive in the city? I mean, the CFO is the head of finance in the city. The general is the head of finance in the TMPD, according to your evidence. Why did he need you to come in the middle? Why couldn't he speak to the general directly?
The CFO did not need me. I think in my language, I just jumped in and volunteered to help.
Because it seems to me that your intervention made things more complicated. Because if we go to the chats, what we see is instead of a simple conversation between the CFO and General Dlamini, what we have is a conversation that has to be mediated through you entirely. So General Dlamini speaks to you, you send a screenshot of what he says to the CFO. The CFO sees the screenshot, sends a response. You convey the response to General Dlamini. This goes backwards and forwards for about 4 or 5 hours. Wouldn't it just have been simpler for the CFO to speak directly to General Dlamini?
Can I use the services of the interpreter?
Bebeke kade bona ngobubona bayizenzela lokhu ngobubona mekuzoba kufushane ukunokuthi bona wena uzokhuluma bayakhuluma wena uyangena nawe uyangenelela utshela uDlamini mele kanti uma ngabe uDlamini no CFO mekubona abadingidana nalodaba isikhathi mesizoba sifishane ukunokuthi sibe side nakungenelele wena unceda ngaloncedo lwakho awuyiboni kanjalo na ukuthi ukungenelela kwakho ukuthatha ukuthi ibe ibandende inde unokuthi ngabe bona ngesibona bayenze kafushane.
Nyakuzwa.
I hear you.
So it would have been simpler.
Mekuzoba lula.
Nangalendlela yami bekulula.
Even my way it was simpler.
Your way was simple. You were speaking to the general, conveying the general's words to the CFO, speaking to the CFO, taking a screenshot of your exchange with the CFO, sending it to the general, getting the general's response, relaying it to the CFO. What was simple about that?
Beyilula kanjani eyakho wena uthatha ke lenkulumo lena ku CFO uyisa ku general ugeneral uyabuya futhi kuwe uyithatha iscreenshot uyithumela futhi ngapha iphindi ilula kanjani ngoba indendende inkamanqa le ilula kanjani kuya ngakho
Mina ngendlela yami bengibona kuyilula.
according to me I took it as the right way the right simple way.
See,
Let me ask. Sergeant, what's the nature of your relationship with General Dlamini?
Ngimazi ebuncaneni.
And know him since youth stage.
So he's your friend?
So umngani wakho.
No.
Yes, I'm asking. I mean, I know many people from when I was a child, and I don't. They're not my friends, some are my friends. I would like to know what is the nature of your relationship with him at the time that you start engaging with him on these payments?
Okay, General Dlamini can never be my friend. One, I was, maybe it will sound a bit awkward. He played a father figure role in my life.
Yes.
Because of some stage when I was in primary, I was staying at his house.
Yes.
And that is how I knew him
Yes.
up until to date.
So is it fair to say the nature of your relationship with him is such that you thought if you intervened in these payment issues, you will get better response from him? He will respond because it's you, better than if it's a CFO.
I would not say he will respond better to me than a CFO. At that stage, I saw him as an easy tool to use at that particular time. That they forward this thing to me, and then I'll forward it to.
Sorry, you saw him as easy what?
Okay, I saw that it will be much easier for me to send it to him. I thought at that time maybe it will be a longest try for the CFO to take it, whatever process is possible. At that time, we were on the road, he was being stressed, then I took advantage of him and let me send it to my brother to, it might be of good help. So by then, that is how I thought.
You see, when Mr. Mnisi asks you a question, is General winning, he's not in the same car with you. So this process happened over a time. If you were in the car, he wouldn't have had to send you a message to say, is he winning? So it's not the answer to say at the time we were together, he was driving and I thought, let me do this. You carried on to be involved in this exchange instead of just sending off the invoice or making the inquiry and then leave the CFO to deal with it. You become very much involved. You are actually the go-between. Hence my question. Did you consider that because of your relationship with General Dlamini, as you describe it, or whatever form it is, that you will have influence over him to process these so that payment is made urgently? Because that's what it looks like from the chats. It looks like you were using your relationship with him to get payments. You are monitoring step by step. You are getting feedback, where are things, and you are forwarding them and discussing them with the CFO as you are getting responses. So you are well past, we were traveling together. You are past that. You've gone your separate ways with the CFO as you now keep exchanging these messages. And it seems to me that you would have been that involved or been the middle person because of your relationship with General Dlamini. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense that the CFO who works with General Dlamini in Tshwane, both of them heads of department, they can't speak directly. You must have brought something into this picture and you understood it, that you are bringing the weight of your relationship with General Dlamini. Do you want to comment?
I don't know, it will be suitable answer for me. I just wanna cancel this thing of a breach because of, I'm here today because of that thing of being a breach between people. So the only time that I got involved is because Commissioner, at that time that this happened, I was with the CFO. Then I took advantage of me knowing General Dlamini, not that I would maybe influence him better than the CFO. And indeed, I agree or I admit that when he sent me this message, he was not with me at that time. But I also did say that I can remember exactly when was this document sent.
Yes, you see, what is curious is that you are an outsider, completely outsider, as in you're not employed in the city. You haven't told us that this Mr. Mnisi knew that you have a relationship with General Dlamini. He knows how close you are. You haven't told us that. So here you are, an outsider who happens to be friends with a CFO who gets a call from a service provider for payment, and you pretty much take over. And he actually, the CFO makes inquiries with you. He doesn't make inquiries with the general. He makes inquiries, how far is he? Is he winning? I'm looking at my system, it's not yet come in. He's speaking to you, not to General. It must be that you said to the CFO, I'll fix this. I'll get the payment to be sorted out urgently. You have to have said that to him. And you would have said that because of the weight of your relationship. At least that's what it looks like to me, and that's what I'm suggesting to you. that you would have said to the CFO, I'll speak to Dlamini, I'll sort it out. And you said that because you understood the weight of your relationship with General Dlamini, whatever it is, that when you step in and say payment and you follow up, you knew that he will respond, he will make it happen. Do you have any comment to my suggestion?
I think your suggestion, Commissioner, is too deep. It's way too deep. The way it transpired to what the Commission, but with due respect, the way I've seen it, it was just me trying to help the CFO through General Dlamini. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chaskalson.
Now, you say this was about one invoice that you sent to the General to assist the CFO. That was what your evidence was earlier.
If I can recall, I'm not sure, but if I can recall.
You think it was about one invoice? And
Your response, Sergeant Nkosi? Do you agree that you think it was about one invoice?
I'm not sure. I can't deny nor admit.
you see, it definitely wasn't about one invoice. It was about multiple invoices and probably several suppliers. Can I take you to some of the chats in this regard? Let's start at page 143. This is the CFO's message to you at chat time 2:33, which is actually 4:33 in the afternoon. It's forwarded from the General. Yes, we've won. Busy with creating requisitions, plural, and at the same time releasing them, plural, in order for buyers, plural, to create purchase orders, plural. The process is long, as invoices, plural, have to be scanned and uploaded individually. And I trust we'll include the entire process before 1700 hours. As soon as the buyers, plural, have created purchase order, we will create service entries and submit them for payment. So there are multiple invoices that have to be processed here. You accept that?
No comment on that.
No?
I can't comment on that because of I'm not sure.
Well, this text, which comes from the General and you forwarded to the CFO, refers to everything in the plural. Then if we go to the invoice which you describe, or which you refer to, which is the invoice on the following page, 144. This invoice was special, and you see that from the message below, which is from the General. This one is for the previous financial year. We will engage later, Norm Fowetu, on how to address it in order to avoid post facto. So why this one was sent was it came from a previous financial year. It was special, and they needed special arrangements to process it to avoid an ex post facto using this year's budget to spend on last year's money.
I don't know exactly, but the invoice that I was talking about is this one.
Yes, but this process relates to multiple invoices.
Okay, I can't comment on that, but the only thing that I remember, it was to intervene on this one invoice.
So you were just intervening on one invoice as you understood it.
That's correct.
But all of the texts that you forward back and forth between the general and the CFO relate to multiple texts, multiple invoices. You weren't aware that you were indirectly dealing with multiple invoices. Is that correct? You just weren't aware that these texts that you send backwards and forwards relate to multiple invoices?
Yes.
Well, Sergeant, if it's an invoice from the previous financial year, which is even doubtful, because when I look at these dates, it's not clear to me. But even if it is, what could you possibly be intervening about? An invoice from the previous financial year, which the general says I will engage with him forward to on how to address it. What could, if this is the only invoice you say you are intervening on, what could you possibly be required to do about that problem of an invoice from a previous financial year, which the general seems to recognize that he needs to speak to his CFO to sort out the problem?
Maybe I put a wrong word to say intervene, but it was the matter of the CFO sending it to me, then I send it to the general so that he must look at it. Not that I was intervening in the way it sounds, that how would I intervene? So it was that on those bases.
No, but we know from the chats that you were intervening. You forwarded it according to you. Your story is. Yes. You spoke to the general, you forwarded him this invoice, you were reporting back, we see from the chats. So you were fully intervening in this and updating the CFO and taking questions from the CFO and sending them to the general. So I don't think you can avoid the description that you were intervening. You did intervene in this. My question is, if this was the only invoice, if all these chats that we've seen related only to one invoice, because that's what you're saying now, your evidence is, well, this is the only invoice I got involved with. So my question is, if all these chats, the back and forths that we are seeing, which involves you, related to just this invoice, which is of a previous financial year, and where the CFO, it must be discussed with the CFO, how do we solve it? What could you be intervening to deal, I mean, what is your intervention on this kind of invoice? Which still requires the CFO to be engaged, remember? So because that's what the message says. How we deal with it to address so that it avoids being a post facto. And as I understand it, so that it avoids to look like it was authorized after the fact.
My intervention in this matter was to give General Zamini and to make follow-ups with that effect.
Okay, that's your answer. I'll accept that's your answer. Thank you.
Then there are other strange features about this correspondence. Can we go back to a question that I've already asked you, but you didn't answer it at the time? It's about the target value. It's at in your conversation with the General at page 508. This is now at 12 p.m. It's relatively early in the day's processing of invoices. Morning, Captain. Please just confirm for Mpoetu Ukuti, I am processing the issue. I have spoken to Kane and Vusi also to increase the target value as the amount is a bit higher. And as soon as all of them are released, all of them, more than one, I will let you know for his intervention to ensure that Tommy makes payment urgently. So what was he referring to when he said Kane and Vusi were going to increase the target value because the amount's a bit higher?
Okay, according to my understanding about that message, it was for the General to inform me that they will adjust the budget and the payment will be made. It was the message that he sent to me to send it to the CFO.
So you understood this, that the General was now telling you, I'm going to adjust the budget so that we can make this payment. And you must tell the CFO, we're adjusting the budget.
No. This is how I understood it. I don't know what the General meant at that time. I'm explaining the message that he wrote to me.
At the time, how did you understood it like that?
Yes.
See. But of course your understanding may be wrong because you're not involved in municipal finance. You accept that?
That's correct.
Which again raises the question of why the two couldn't speak together. Two people who did understand municipal finance would operate more efficiently if they spoke to each other directly rather than through you. Would you not accept that?
I'm not sure if I understood your question.
Would it not be more efficient for two people who understand municipal finance and are dealing with a municipal finance issue to talk to each other directly rather than to talk through a third party who does not understand municipal finance?
I was just passing the message. So I wouldn't think that it would be a problem to them to communicate through me. So I took it from General Dlamini to the CFO. So my understanding it was they're going to adjust the budget so that the outstanding invoice would be paid.
And your evidence was that this was the first time you had ever heard of Gubis, and you didn't have any dealings relating to Gubis ever again. And you stand by that evidence?
I never said it was my first time or I don't know Gubis. I don't know did you raise that question with me?
No, I did. So you do know Gubis?
Yes, I know Gubis.
Who is Gubis?
I don't know.
Who are the people who represent Gubis?
I don't know them.
What do you know about Gubis?
I know that Gubis is a Gubis security.
It's a security company.
That's correct.
And what else do you know about Gubis?
I only know that it's a security company.
That's all you know?
That's correct.
Have you had any other dealings that have involved Gubis?
Not that I know of, or I remember.
Not that you remember?
Yes.
Let me take you to a few of the other chats. Page 516. Chat number 1. 23 March. Afternoon, Captain. I trust you're well and your family. I thought we could meet up today so I could get clarity on something called Mpuetu. Kane called me on Friday and asked if that Gubis want to meet up with me on Saturday. I then pushed the meeting to Monday with a view of getting direction from Mpuetu first, today. Please check with him on this and his advice, if I should go or drop them. I don't want to make a mistake on such matters because I believe the center should be one. What was that message about?
I think the General was informing me that there was a meeting that was to be held by Gubis and Kane and him now, that is the General. So the General declined that meeting because, according to me, understanding this message, he wanted the center of communication to be one.
What was the center of communication, what was the communication about, that there had to be one center? Why would this even involve the CFO?
I don't know what he meant by that.
You didn't know what he meant by that?
Yes.
Well, I want to put it to you that you did know what he meant by that.
Yes.
And that this communication was on which bidders were going to be awarded TMPD Contract 1 of 2024-25, the contract in respect to which your brother's company was ultimately successful, one of the successful bidders. That's what this communication was about. What's your response to that?
That's not true.
I see. We'll get there when we get to that contract. What about page 547? If you go to page 547, you'll see on the 26th of June at 10 in the morning, you were sent a document which is described in the chats as termination letter COT ad hoc. That document's at page 647. And what that is a letter from Mr. Rivo Spies to Gubis terminating their services at Tshwane. Do you recall seeing that?
Yes.
Sorry, I must correct what I put to you earlier. I said you were sent. In fact, what I showed you was the chat where you sent that to General Dlamini. Where you were sent it is on page 331. It was slightly earlier. It was at 9:57 in the morning, chat time.
Page 331.
331.
It's in the earlier file. In the other
File 1, file 1.
Sorry, thank you, Commissioner Kumalo.
There you'll see that this termination letter was sent to you at chat time 7:57 a.m., 9:57, and the CFO said, call him Mpuetu. You then, if you go back to page 547, forward the message to General Dlamini at 10:12 a.m. He calls you at 10:13, and then if you go back to 331, you'll see that at the bottom of the page, chat time 8:21, actual time 10:21, you say, I found him. What time can we meet today? And then immediately below that, when there's no response in 8 minutes, you send 2 question marks. And then the CFO says, I'll confirm Mfowethu, I need to call him urgently in the meantime. Can I have his number? That can't wait for the meeting, my bro. And so you send the CFO the general's number. Now, why was it so urgent for you, the CFO, and the general to meet in relation to the termination of Gubis' services at the city?
I can't remember that. Why was it so urgent?
And why were you being involved at all in relation to the termination of Gubis' services at the city?
Okay, my answer is, I think CFO sent me this termination letter to show the general. Indeed, I did that. I forwarded it to the general. The general confirmed that indeed he is the one who instructed, who's this one? Spies, because of this company was working without any approval process or something, but I remember along those lines, he informed me that he recognized this company, and they alleged that he's the one who informed that this company is not compliant, so they must terminate.
But why was the CFO so anxious about this letter that he needed a meeting with you and the general so quickly? What was the CFO's concern about Gubis?
I would not know.
Can I ask you whether you're aware if Mr. Sibanyoni has an indirect interest in Gubis?
Not that I know of, I don't know.
Not that you know of. We've gone long past one, Chair. I mean, there is one, to round off this topic, there's a question that may lead to a couple of minutes, which I would like to canvass with the witness, but I'm aware I'm already long past my cut-off point.
Perhaps do that when we come back. Or you want to go ahead now?
No, I'm in your hands. I can do it either way.
No, when we come back then. Let's adjourn and resume at 2:10.